Hey there, friends. Coming to you from the Rythmia Life Advancement Center in Costa Rica. And this place is amazing. It's only my second day, and I'm already really blown away by what's happening here, both in terms of the people I'm meeting and the openness in the people who are here, and the desire to work on themselves, the desire to do the hard work of growth and healing. And I'm amazed by I was going to use professionalism, which is the right word, which is a right word, but it's not really what I'm looking for to describe the people who work here and the people who are showing up to bring their gifts to the different workshops and talks, and just the presence, and the desire to help others achieve their goals of growth and healing and whatever else it is, why we're all here working on ourselves. And what I wanted to talk about a little today is something that I've believed for a long time to be true, is that it takes hard work to heal, and that so much of the growth, so many of the gems, the aha moments, are built inside the difficult experiences and our willingness to face those difficult experiences, in order to move forward in our lives in a clearer, more open, more present, more loving way. And that's certainly a message, and a belief that exists here at Rythmia that I appreciate very much. It's not about distracting yourself from the hard stuff. It's actually about going into it. It's actually about facing it. Things like difficult conversations, and we all know what it's like to avoid them and to put them off because we don't want to deal with the discomfort and the aggravation and the potential fallout that will happen from bringing up the things we know we need to bring up with people in our lives. But knowing that until you face that, until you go in to the difficult conversation rather than trying to sidestep it and avoid it, which never works and never gets us anywhere, once you go in to the difficulty, that's the only potential we have to actually heal it and to transform it into something that resembles connection, real dialogue, real love. And it's like that in all areas of our lives. When you want to heal, it's so easy to try to avoid facing what is hard in our life, try to avoid and bury and numb ourselves from looking at what's preventing us from moving forward in an honest way. It's so easy to avoid taking responsibility for how we're showing up in our lives and how we're showing up in our relationships and in our communications. And when someone says something that pisses us off, instead of just retaliating and spewing vitriol at this person and coming at them with anger and blame and all ego, can we instead take the time to put the mirror in our face and take the time to take responsibility and look at, why am I being provoked right now? What buttons in me are being pushed? What is going on for me? What have I experienced in my past that would allow me to show up to this place here and now and get so provoked by just the words of another person, no matter what those words are? Why am I taking it so personally? That's the hard work, but that's the juice. That's the juice. And if we're not willing to do that, if we're only operating in an ego, blameful, retaliatory space, there's very little opportunity for healing. There's really no opportunity for healing. I'm being generous by saying very little opportunity. Until we're really willing to put the mirror in our faces and do the hard work of honest self-exploration and do the hard work of moving in to the difficult truths that we want to run from, but can we stay and settle into it so that we can learn from it and release it? If we're not willing to look at our pain, if we're not willing to look and be present in the difficulty, there's no opportunity to release it. It just stays festering inside of us, where, things that fester typically don't feel good or smell good or anything good. we've got to allow for the release, and the only way to allow for the release is to go inside, to go into the pain. That's my experience. And so I really appreciate what's happening here, because there's a very honest approach about growth, which is that most of our growth happens in the hard spots. You know, it doesn't have, when someone's in your face just saying, I love you, you're beautiful, you're incredible, and you receive that, great, that's a lovely, beautiful thing. But when someone's in your face saying, you're really condescending, and I don't like how you operate in the world, and whatever, how can we show up to that moment with presence? How can we also not own those words, because we can't take responsibility for how another person sees us. I can't take ownership for anything this person has to say about me. That we have to release, but can we also take the time to show up with presence and with kindness and with compassion and with love, instead of just saying, fuck you, you're an asshole, whatever it is we might be inclined to say in that moment. Can we show up differently? The answer, of course, is yes, we can, but we have to work hard to do it, and it matters. It makes such a difference, not just in your life, but in the life of the other person, in our world in general. The more of us who are choosing love and choosing presence, the more of us who are willing to go into the muck that exists within in order to heal it, we're changing the world. When you change your world, you help change the world. And there's just no saying, the impact that you can have. So I'm loving it here, and we're only just beginning. But Rythmia is already kind of rocking my world and taking me inside in an important way. So that's today's missive from Rythmia in Costa Rica. Happy to be here. So grateful. So thank you for tuning in. I love you all. Please love yourselves. Please continue to be gentle with yourselves. And if you can, please push yourselves to face the difficult truths that aren't even truths. The things we tell ourselves are usually lies, that we're ugly and we're unworthy and we're not loving. That's all not true. So to face the difficult realities that have allowed us to get to these false understandings and truths about ourselves, so that we can release them, and move forward in a much clearer, more present and loving way. All right. Big, big love. Talk to you soon.